Hello, everyone. Welcome, and thank you for tuning into this ongoing series, Talking Dance, sponsored by the Steps Beyond Foundation and Steps on Broadway. I'm Allen Maniker, the Foundation Board Chair, and your interviewer and host. This series continues to present an exciting lineup of dance artists who will be sharing their insights and stories with you. The full lineup and information can be found at stepsbeyond, that's one word, .org. And there you'll also find a place to make a suggested donation should you be so inclined, and we hope you will be. Also, please note that you may enter your questions or comments in the chat on the side, and we're going to make every effort to answer any and all questions asked. And if you would like to let us know where in the world you're located and listening in on, please let us know because we would absolutely love to know. So I'm going to share my screen here for a moment and tell you that Irina Dvorovenko was born in Kiev, Ukraine, and was a former principal dancer, first with the National Opera Ballet of Kiev, and then with American Ballet Theatre. In the spring of 2013, Ms. Dvorovenko retired from the ABT stage and simultaneously made her musical theater debut in the New York City Center Encores production of Rodgers and Hart's On Your Toes. She has appeared in numerous stage and television productions. She is a truly versatile dancer who has transitioned into acting roles. Please join me in welcoming Irina Dvorovenko. Hi, Irina.
Hi, Alan. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful, thank you. So nice to see you.
Thank you. It looks like you've been practicing my last name for a while, right?
Yeah, I did. I admit I did. I practiced. I listened to the interviews where you even went online and said your own name. And I said, well, if she says it that way, then I can say it that way.
Perfect. Wait till you try Maxim's last name. Well, I'll teach you.
No, I'm not going to try.
I'll tell you the funny story after about his last name. Okay, we'll ask me later. Good.
All right. So I understand. So you have stayed in New York City through the entire pandemic, yeah?
Yeah, we've been trapped here in New York. We've already 3 or 4 times rescheduled our Cabo vacation, and it's not going anywhere. We're still here.
And no one has strangled anybody else being cooped up in the apartment together?
Well, listen, we have one man, my husband, Maxim, and 3 girls, me, my daughter, Emma, and our cat, Musa. So far, we're surviving, taking one day at a time, try to be very patient. It's a bit stressful situation, I guess, for everyone.
Yeah.
But
yeah. So I understand that also, just before we came on the air, you told me your parents are also here in New York City, yeah?
Yes, my mom and dad, they live in the east side. We're on the west side, they are in the east side. Yeah, they stuck here as well, can move anywhere. But yeah, they live here for many years already. I think since 96 or 97.
Maybe
yeah.
Yeah, are you from a family that was very involved in dance and ballet?
Yes, my mom and my dad, they did the reason I'm dancing, I think, because they brought so much joy when they were performing. They were dancing in folk companies, my mom and my dad, in 2 different famous companies in Ukraine. My mom had a ballet training. She was she got already offered to be in the Odessa theater to join the company as a ballerina, and then she decided not to. And then somehow she met my father, and took the different paths as a character dancer. But my mom and my dad, they are really passionate. They're very beautiful. And that's why I think I want to be on stage, because watching them, traveling with them when I was a child, I get so much adrenaline and excitement when I see the applaud. And during the intermission, I usually put some costumes, some ribbons, went on stage as a child, 3 years old, 4 years old, and tried to dance and express myself. And I said, now clap, everyone, clap. I'm the famous dancer. So I don't know, I just probably love to have the attention. And feel that I have so much to express. So I don't know. If they ask me, you want to be the ballet dancer or just the corps de ballet girl, I would say no. My theory was as a dancer that I want to be a star with the big name. I don't know why. It's really funny, but first time when I saw on TV the ballet costume, the ballet tutu, I asked my mom that, Mom, what's this? Buy me this costume. And I never asked my parents to buy me anything. I was a very shy child, never been spoiled. I'm only one child. I'm supposed to be spoiled. When my parents was traveling and bringing a lot of beautiful gifts and stuff to me, and I was ashamed or embarrassed, like not ashamed, embarrassed to wear it because nobody else has anything like that. And then the only one time I asked my mom, can you buy me this costume? And she said, well, this costume is not for sale. You cannot buy it. I said, well, how can I get the costume like that? She said, well, you need to become a ballerina. Then I said, okay, then I'm going to become a ballerina. And many costumes like that. Because that was simple like that.
That's wonderful. But do you have a very first memory of the time you saw your parents perform?
I do have a glimpse of memory. Yeah, when we were traveling, and then in Ukraine, in a certain theaters, I know that the tickets for the companies, my mom and my dad company, was almost impossible to get. There was always so many foreigners. It was so sold out. It was really fantastic. The very famous Sol Yurak, the impresario, he was introducing one of the companies, and my father was in America dancing and giving interviews. So it was really, high demand. It was really wonderful. And I do remember this thousands of people and excitement and adrenaline. So I don't know, that's why I probably adrenaline, as we call junkie, right? Because I need the adrenaline. I need to express myself in any way as an artist. Yeah.
So was there a time then when you had, because I know you began in the National Opera Ballet in Kiev, was there a time when you were actually performing on the stage together with your parents?
No, they did not perform in an opera house. They have two different or three different venues they were performing, different theaters.
But was it a time when they were in one theater on the stage and you were in the other theater on the stage?
No, I think they already retired by that time when I was ready to start to perform. Yeah.
So you had your early training at the ballet school in Kiev associated with the opera. Was the training there very different than what you see here in the United States?
The training is wonderful because it's the same curriculum for the major schools as the St. Petersburg, Bolshoi Theater, and then Perm also. All former Soviet Union, they had the same curriculum. So these couple schools are very, very strongest, considered the strongest one through former Soviet Union. But unfortunately, the school never had any contemporary or modern training. So we had not a clue how to do and what to do it. So it was when we left already to the West, then they start bringing something new, but not at that time while I was performing there. So for me, it was very challenging when I was preparing the Jackson competition and I need to prepare contemporary number. There was no even choreographer to find who could do contemporary number for you. And that's what's happened. They found one lady, she was very famous, and I was barely 16 when I went for the Jackson competition. And she asked me to perform, she choreographed the number which calls the Firebird, but Gershwin music, which was a bit sexy for me as a 16 years old. And she asked me to be in kind of very loose movement and behavior, and I had not a clue what she's asking me to do. Pioneer. And then, of course, when I won, I passed the first round, and the friend of mine said that, oh, if you don't have a good contemporary, you're not going to win anything in Jackson. And they saw my contemporary and said, it's very weak. You're not going to be able to get the good score. So I said, let me think something. And this one lady, Olga Smoke, she's a Cuban and she's a big fan of Russians. And she was speaking Russian teeny bit to, try to get the connection. She found the choreographer, Luc Delairis, Belgian choreographer, who was actually in the competition also staging or something, choreographing for someone. And he choreographed me the new number. in 4 hours.
Wow.
And I danced it next day. It was insane. I didn't speak much English, and it was crazy, but it's happened that, yeah, we're still friends with him. He's an amazing person.
That is amazing. So the opera ballet at Kiev was primarily the classics, yeah?
Yes, exactly.
Uh-huh. How big a company is it?
I don't know right now. Before it was around 100 people, I think, because sometimes the company divided in two parts. So one company, for example, one half of the company goes, for example, for all tour Japan, and second half could stay and perform. So there is enough sets, and people to divide it on two, like in Bolshoi Theater as well. They perform like 2 or 3 stages at the same time.
Uh-huh. I see. So I want to show this. I want to show this picture.
Oh,
Is this your house?
it is my house. It feels like home.
What did you love most or hate about this of theater?
What I love most, that
Yeah.
I become a persona. I was discovered on the stage of this theater. I become loved. I become desirable. This company, this stage makes me feel special.
Mm.
That
A
I
lot of
something very important in my life. So it was funny feelings. Then I've been in Ukraine like 5 years ago, no, 7 years ago, and before it was big break, and I thought that I would be kind of homesick, and I went to see my ballet school, I went to see my apartment where I grew up, and I kind of didn't recognize the city. It was become very new and foreign for me, because I spent already more time in New York than I spent in Ukraine, in Kiev. And then I was kind of panicking. I said, something wrong with me. Why I have no feelings? And then the moment the car started going closer to the theater, I started to have anxiety attack. I started crying, and I burst. So much emotions came out of me. And of course, we went backstage and knocked to the door and asked them to let me in because it's new people and everything. And it was funny. There's some of my coworkers and classmates were still performing. It was during the evening show, and they almost started waving, and it was just very emotional. So the theater, that's the only thing that makes my home.
Yeah. Is that stage raked?
Yes.
Did you have an adjustment, dance? And so for those of people listening that might not know, a raked stage is a stage that's slightly elevated. It's where we get the terms upstage and downstage. So upstage is towards the back and it's slightly elevated, and towards the audience is downstage, it's slightly lower. Did you have an adjustment coming to the West where most of the stages are not raked?
Actually, the much easier if you are used to dance on the raked stage. It's much easier to go flat. It's like my coach said, if this is a raked stage, right? This is the verticality. You're still gonna stay vertical. You're not gonna lie down, right? Doesn't matter how raked the stage, your gravity gonna still be up. So for the rake stage, challenging to transfer from flat to rake stage because it's a placement of the body, different one. Opposite is easier. I know that in Europe and Spain and Italy, there's some of them huge, even more raked than in Ukraine, in Brazil especially. That was crazy. But yeah, flat is easy for me.
Wow.
Always has been. Yep.
So let me go through this list because I have a list here. So with the company in Kiev, you danced in La Bayadere, you danced in Don Quixote, you danced Giselle and Myrta in Giselle, you danced Princess Aurora and Princess Florine in The Sleeping Beauty, you danced Odette Odile in Swan Lake, Sugar Plum Fairy and Nutcracker, title roles in Cinderella and Paquita, also Pas de Deux from Le Corsaire, Diane and Actaeon in La Sylphide, as well as Tchaikovsky Pas de Deux. Did you have a favorite?
I don't know. I loved it all when I was a young dancer. It was funny that my first debut with the theater happened very quickly. I was still in the last class in my school. So I was 17 years old, and it was just the new year started. I was 1990 because I graduated in 91. And 91, I think 91, 93. I'm already confused with the dates. Anyway, so I know that I was in the last year in school, and they theater called me and asked me to prepare in 3 days full-length Don Q with the guest star who is arriving to Kiev just for a few days. And I was just in shock. So of course I said yes, as a crazy adrenaline crazy junkie. And yeah, I had like 3 days to prepare it. And then of course, on the poster said the famous ballerina supposed to dance it. And then I don't know, she was injured or something. So, and I still remember some orchestra member said, we were expecting to see this person, famous ballerina. And then the young one, so fiery little girls jump in, and she completely tore the audience apart. It was crazy. I was so excited. So I think during the first act, I forgot the steps during the entrance. So I to the right instead of to the left because I had so much adrenaline. So that was my first show. And then later they asked me to do the Mercedes when they were filming the video for Japan. So I was still like 17 years old when I was filming so I did first Kitri, then Mercedes, and then Queen of Riot, and then of course, yes, my big roles, my first tour. I graduated school a month earlier because company invited me to join for tour in Canada to do full-length Cinderella and Don Q Pas de Deux. So it was a lot on my shoulders. So, and that's into the theater, being already principal, doing principal roles.
How wonderful. Well, let's, again, I'm going to share my screen because I want to share with the audience one piece of your dancing.
This is in Japan, in Tokyo, the Sake Gala. With Jose Carreño. And Jose been my first partner with the show in the UPC. My first ballet happened when I was 18 years old. I did one show in Ukraine. It wasn't difficult. And with the Kiev National Opera on tour. We're gonna watch the whole Pas de Deux?
Not the whole thing, but a few more minutes because it's so beautiful to watch.
Thank you. And there is a pose. Performance Black Swan, it's every time different colors because different time you have different type of seduction as a woman, depending who you're dancing with and how you're feeling.
Yeah.
It's in multiple colors, so it's always exciting.
Good.
Thank you.
Lovely. Really, so lovely. So you were a principal dancer there in Kiev in 1992, but then you left to join American Ballet Theatre in 1996. Can you share with us why you have decided to make that change?
Well, it looks like for the even shorter couple years that I have been principal in Ukraine, I've danced everything. I danced all repertoire pretty much. There was nothing new, nothing happening. So I've been touring already in Canada, in Munich, in Spain, in America. So I've been touring everywhere. I've been dancing same things, and I need to be challenged. I thought that it's very safe, and safe is boring for me. So we got married with my husband after we started dancing together, and we decided to take a leap. And it was not easy start. Max joined American Ballet Theatre first. Then after a year, I joined him. It was rough for me because I need to step down from what I used to do. I need to start learning pas de deux, pas de trois, big swans, which I never done because I've done all principals roles, and it was really hard. I would need to swallow my ego and pride, but I was only happy that I have had the chance, and I had an agreement with Kevin that please, I don't care what contract money-wise I have, but I need to be dancing. I need to live on stage. If I have no roles, I cannot sit or just substitute. I can't. I need to be on stage. And the first month when I joined the company was August, and before it was like two months layoff. And I said, well, it looks like company is going to be layoff. And then 5 days to prepare the Bayadera for the tour in Brazil. I said, how it's possible to do? Usually it takes months, to prepare something. At least give me an idea what I need, what should I learn? I said, Kevin said, well, it's okay. You're going to learn the pas de trois shades, last variation. And I've been struggling for a couple months, trying to learn this pas de trois and variation. I had rehearsing by myself. And then the first day, of course, after the long rehearsal day, which was very unusual for me, and because we usually have like 1 hour of rehearsals, and here like 7 hours of rehearsal, which was nightmare. And I need to do something which I didn't want to do. I just need to sit in rehearsal, do something, and then rehearse pas de trois. And then the same evening, Kevin Mackenzie called me at home and said, Irina, we have the bit emergency. Kristen Dunham, who was principal at that time, she's supposed to be opening night of Gamzati for the Rio de Janeiro tour with ABT in Brazil with Jose Carreño, and said she's out. Can you dance Gamzati opening night with Jose? I said, of course I can. I've done it before. So we had literally 4 rehearsals with Jose, and here it was. My first role with ABT was Gamzati opening night in Rio de Janeiro.
It sounds like you're a specialist in filling in for emergencies.
Yeah. I like to take a risk, and sometimes it's a luck and chances. Life has your own, some chances give you some opportunities, windows. Sometimes if you miss it, you're never gonna be noticed, or it's never gonna work back the same way. So I usually try to grab it, whatever comes to my.
Yeah. Would you say are the two companies, the company in Kiev and American Ballet Theatre, are they run in a very similar way or a very different way?
Very different way, because I'm gonna explain all European companies, majority, and especially Kiev, our company, the theaters functioning all year through. So it's a 15 or 11 ballet production a month and 15 or 11 opera production a month. So it's like 1 day ballet, 1 day opera, 1 day ballet, 1 day opera, something like that. So it's constantly, you're dancing regularly. So it's really wonderful. And the theater is your home. So your dressing room with the velvet, burgundy velvet, and the wooden cabinets, you feel like a home. So I spend more time in the theater than in my own home. So that's why it feels so special for me, right? And unfortunately, there was no contemporary, but we were happy when it was at that time when I was growing up and performing. Here in America, that's really hard in the Western company because they don't have the home. we rent in the studio, ABT rent in the studios, and then rent in the Metropolitan Opera House or going on tour somewhere. So it's really challenging, and there is not enough time to prepare the repertoire the way you want it. So you're not preparing 1 month, one ballet, you're preparing 5 ballets in 1 week, in 5 days. So you need to pick it up very quickly. It's really very challenging and very difficult to keep the speed. So that's the difference of the Western.
So, but then also when you joined ABT, I know that you had contemporary roles in ballets by Twyla Tharp, Yuri Kilian, Nacho Duato, Natalie Weir. Was it a challenge to learn this contemporary style?
It was. For me, it was really hard. I gonna tell you honestly, I've been very slow to learn. So it was hard for me because I had no idea how to loosen up, because we've been taught, only square, this, hold, and the positions. In the contemporary, like Twyla started showing something, I thought that she was improvising. She said, repeat it. I said, what to repeat? It's a bunch of whatever it is. I don't know what it is. So it was really funny for me to understand how it's possible even to memorize this. So in the end, I pick it up, and I made it look good, and we had fabulous time performing Junk Pas de. It's really fun, and other ballets, Twyla and Kilian, everything. But I've been kind of slow learner, I would say, in unknown zone. I never rejected, but it was just harder for me too. Yeah.
So what did you have to do to loosen yourself up? Did you have something that you thought about in your mind, or what did you do?
No, it just practice and practice and practice. Yeah. You just need to sit down, lower plie, everything. Try to drop the upper body a little bit. Try to watch a lot of other dancers. When we were started our career, we didn't have cameras yet. So now it's much easier. So you could videotape and watch it in slow motion. So it's a biggest help, I think, right now for the dancers. Yeah, but it was hard. Yeah.
So if you had to do a ballet tomorrow, would you choose a classic or a contemporary?
Neither. I'm not.
Okay. But so then in 2013, you retired from American Ballet Theatre. Was that a scary time for you? Did you have a plan for a career after dance?
Yes and no. It was scary and not scary. The thing is, I wanted to dance a bit more, but with the company, but the system is not working. They're not benefiting the dancers in the way dancers want. It's a machine that needs to work. And I've been already using my body through many, many years, and I had some troubles with the back, with the ankles. So I had some injuries which didn't allow me to rehearse more that I need to, and I couldn't do a lot of hard ballet. So I would prefer to pick something and do more, but system doesn't work. You cannot be member, just do 1 or 2 ballets. So it was not possible. And I even rejected Swan Lake in my last year. And I said, no, I don't want to. I either have what I want or nothing. So it was hard because I wanted to dance more with the company, but at the same time, I didn't want to dance something that it's caused me so much pain, and I feel miserable, and I cannot be free on stage. So that was a kind of relief. And 10 years before we were retired, we started design the booties, and my mom was very crafty. She was doing the leotards. I was designing leotards and warm wear, outwear. So the ballet wear. And then we started we collaborated with the blog for many years. And so by the time my career ended, I already had the empire. We built the new career as a designer. Plus, we were already teaching a little bit. And then very unexpectedly, I get the gossip that there is going to be On Your Toes, the Encores at City Center, and the pianist John Epperson. He said, Irina, for years, he'd been telling me, Irina, you have such a deep voice. Oh my God, you should be on Broadway. I said, well, I never talk. I'm just talking in my mind, I'm constantly and so where should I go? What should I do? And then he was the first one who said, I heard that in the next year it's going to be On Your Toes revival, and Makarova won a Tony Award at that time. So I think you'll be perfect for this part. And then there was like a half a year pass, and then more months pass, and then suddenly I started hearing that gossip that On Your Toes is going to be back. And I said, I have no agent. I never opened my mouth on stage. Where should I go? How should I audition? So it was really funny. So I wrote to City Center and I asked, is it any auditions? What's what to do? How to do? So, and they said, yes, it's going to be audition. So this is the script that you need to prepare, like 2 scenes. And I was lucky enough to get in touch with Valentina Kozlova. And she was also doing the same part when Natalia Makarova was injured. And she worked personally with Josh Abbott, and she said very valuable things to her. So she was kind enough to spend like 2 hours with me in her apartment, and she read the script with me, and she explained what's supposed to be, which characteristic, how the words, this and that. So I did it. And when I told Natasha Makarova, I said, "Oh, darling, you'll be perfect." Natasha was so funny. So I went for the audition. I had not a clue how the audition process was. So I entered this small room, and Max was about to enter with me because I thought Maxim going to be reading the second line, you know, the other character. And I said, no, you cannot go, Max. And my eyes are just widened up. I said, well, who's going to read for me? I said, oh, don't worry, this person is going to be reading. I'm already sweating. So my scene was supposed to start with the yelling and screaming like I'm mad and pissed. And I entered the room, and there was like table with the 10 people sitting like a judges. And each of them introduced themselves, and I had no memory of what they call who was who. It was Warren Carlyle, it was Joe Vartel, it was, oh my God. Later, and started to understand who was there. So I did my first monologue and scene, and I see all of the judges kind of on the judge, but they're laughing. They're acting on my jokes. And that was kind of complimentary because I said that I never, ever opened my mouth on stage, only dancer talking inside. I said, so I feel like a virgin. So if you need to kind of guide me, please do. So they asked me to redo the second scene. And this I did it, and then I left the studio, and I said, well, I will know the answer. And they said, well, we just started audition. There's also New York City Ballet principals audition and ABT dancers auditioning. It's probably like 3-4 weeks. And I said, oh my God, 3-4 weeks, sleepless nights. It's impossible. I'm not going to be able to survive. So, I know. And then, yes, I hold up. Sorry, 1 second. Teresa, I'm sorry. I'm giving the live interview right now on Zoom. Sorry, I'll call you later. So sorry. Okay, thank you. So, so sorry. And then I went to the grocery store, and then it was funny that the same day I got the phone call and email that on behalf of City Center, this is the easiest and the most fastest decision we've ever made. You got the part of Vera Baranova the same day. It was the biggest gift for me. I lost it. I started crying. I was laughing hilariously because it was such a relief. Because it was the same year as I was retiring from ABT, and my emotional level was not up and down. So it was a bit overwhelming. And I fought very hard to become a principal dancer in the ABT and prove who I am. Nobody ever gave me anything on the golden platter. I had no agent, no PR, nothing. No even friends who gonna call ABT and ask something to do for me. Whatever we did, it was because of the help of my mom and my dad and my husband, Maxim. We work as a team. And I was sometimes rejected and said no, and I still fought for it. I still fought, and I get what I want. So I felt really amazing that somebody first time in my life won me. And I don't need to fight for it. They just appreciated my talent, and they just wanted. It was just one of the biggest emotional moments here in America for me. And yeah, this play, it was fantastic musical because also Christine Baranski was the co-star, and she said, Irina, when we did the first scene, she said, Broadway is crying for you. You need to continue doing it because you have a natural gift. So it gave me some encouragement. And then later on, I got the audition for the Flesh and Bone TV series, which originally I heard also from Leslie Brown, Ethan Brown, Leslie Brown, and her brother is producers in California. And she texted me and called me, said, Irina, my brother, he's helping to find the ballet dancer who could play this part, but in LA and there they couldn't find anyone. So I think you'll be perfect. You need to audition. And then she linked me. I said, I don't know where to go. I have no agent, still no one. So somehow we managed. Desmond Richardson was very, very kind enough to recommend me his agent, Lakey Wolf. And I came to her and said, well, listen, I'm stopped dancing pretty much. I have no knowledge or no experience on TV. I don't know what to do. I just need you to help me to go to get this audition, where I need to go and what I need to do. And she said, oh, don't worry. You know, usually when people start, you could take like a years to get the part and this and that. I said, fine, just give me this audition. It was so funny. Then my first audition, I supposed to sniff the cocaine, and I had not a clue how to do it, what to do. It was just really crazy. And apparently I did very well because they liked me. And then they called me second time for another audition. And Moira, who's the producer and director, she was really kind of trusty figure. So she helped me to believe that I could do it, and she challenged every dancer, because it's a big role for the dancers, was not only to dance but also an act on. And the theater and the TV is absolutely different. And
Right.
the theater in the theater you need to be bigger than life, exaggerate a little bit more, and pronunciation and the articulation and voice need to go from the inner lung so everybody could hear. So this is in the movie, it's just literally you just sit and just watch it and just whisper. You cannot blink your eyes. You just need to be very still. So absolutely different. So I need to learn and pick up like that, intuition wise. So that
Did you have any specific coaching, or you just picked this up on your own?
Yeah, Moira gave every dancers the coach before this, when we already got approved as the lead cast. So we all had the coach, so a couple times a week, just to help us to go through the lines. But that was it pretty much. It was just natural. And sometimes the director asked me, can you do this? Can you do this? I said, yes. And can you do that? Well, I did. And then Moira said, well, now how you feel? How would you want to do? I want to do this one. Okay, I like that. That's it. So it was good. It was good collaboration because I learned very quickly, and I try to. The director sometimes try to challenge you and see what's gonna look good, or can you my diapason, right? How high I could fly and how low I could go. So it was really interesting and challenging for me. So I never stopped challenging myself. And then after another shows that I did, the Forever and the Blacklist and Power, and then very challenging was the Americans, because the Americans, it's non-danceable parts, and it was like 8 or 9 episodes, and it was absolutely people. They originally didn't want to cast me because they said, "Oh, she's too sexy, she's too glamorous." And my husband said, "Well, I already pretty much have left agency. I had no one to take care of me, and kind of they didn't care much." So Max was calling and said, "Oh, can she actually do re-audition?" So I completely removed my makeup, the make almost like wet hair, and just in very different tone said, "Oh, this is this. And they said, "Oh, actually, producers want to see you tomorrow morning. And can you come raw? No makeup, nothing." And I came and met producers in person, and they said, "We like you." And then I get the part. So
Wow.
yeah, we're fighters. Me and Max, we like to fight. And there was also another crazy thing that after a couple of years, the city center again said that they shoot me an email. I said, "Oh my God, we're doing the new production of Grand Hotel. So, and we want you to audition just with one song." Said, "You don't need to audition as an actress, but you need to just prepare one song." I said, "Song? Who's singing here?" Said, "We want you as an actress. We just need to be sure that if you could sing." I said, little thing that I need to sing, really?" So they gave me the coach, and they asked me to prepare the one song. It's half French, half English. Bonjour amour. And here you go, me again, crazy me singing, right? And it's happened that by the time I need to go for audition, it was right before Christmas, like the week before Christmas. 14, 15, and I got very sick, and I lost my voice. So my voice is naturally very low, and it went even lower. And I had 102 fever, and I said, I cannot even talk. How could I sing and do 2 minutes area alone, right? And I called the producers and I said, I can't come for the audition. So I'm sorry, I have no voice. I said, so can we reschedule for the next week? It's literally like 1 or 2 days before Christmas. I said, no, we can't. Everybody gonna be gone. There's no team. And I was like, I guess I lost this one, but I can't fake it. Listen, if you have no voice, you can fake it singing, right? And I was so upset. And then in 2 hours, they called me. In 3 hours, they called me and said, actually, we found you different pianist. Can you come in 2 days? I said, well, I have no choice. I'm not going to be perfect, but I'll come. So I came. I glammed up because I need to play Elizaveta Grushinska, Greta Garbo part. It was snow. It was wet and snow store. So I put the eyelashes. I put the feather boa. I put this sparkly dress. I came with the attitude, and I got the role.
Good for you.
Crazy, but yeah, I guess it's a collaboration of hard work, what you want, and also, chance. You need to have a chance.
Yes. So we should look because you have mentioned his name several times. Your amazing husband, Max.
Maxim, yes.
And here are some pictures of him. Did you meet in Kiev?
Yes, we met in Kiev. We were going to the same ballet school. So Max is 1.5 years older than me. So we were neighbors, and it happened that I was 10, he was 11. First time we met at school, and he was very funny boy. He makes everyone laugh. That's what I #1 loved about him. And then later on, that I started to notice him that he was the most gifted boy in the ballet school. So at the age of 12, when I started preparing my first ballet competition, I actually liked him very much. And I was thinking to get him as my partner first. Because ideally, as a young girl, I was dreaming to have Prince not only on stage, but for life as well. Because, for me, the art of ballet dancer it's not a profession. For me, it is your life. So this chunk of my life, it was supposed to be very, very powerful. So you cannot just pretend on stage and then have different life. I didn't have life outside of the theater. So whatever happens with Max and me, we were breathing at the same time. So we were thinking at the same time, breathing at the same time. It makes me feel kind of comfortable, and it makes me feel, again, new every time I perform the romantic ballet. He makes me fall in love with him over and over again. So, and when I was a young girl and young lady, I heard that married couple never survive. They're usually fighting and screaming at each other. And I noticed that I do like attention of the other boys or partners. And when I dance with other partners, I always like to flirt and, feel very feminine and charming. So, and I said that, why the married couple, they fighting? Why? So I said, it's definitely not gonna happen in my life if I'm gonna marry Max. I'm gonna respect him and also feel kind of flirtatious towards him. Then why do I need to treat him worse, that he's the one who's actually making me feel good? So, and somehow it happened that since that moment, and I make myself promise, we never fought. We never had any problems during the rehearsals or at home. So if there's some situation is tense, you just need to know the root where it start hurt. So if I know that if Max is, a bit in a pissed mood, so it's mean that he's either hungry or something is hurting. So sometimes you need to let him talk, or I could be very vocal and like, I don't like this one, I don't like that. So we just knowing each other, understanding, not because it's happening, what's happening, but why it's happening. There's always some reason. So, and by knowing the reason why it's happening, I understood fully. So, and if there was about to explode of the tension, so we just, at this moment, we're supposed to leave that particular pace and move on without playing on each other's nerves. And somehow, like, it's worked. It worked. We danced pretty much whole career together, and we learned from other partner when we danced separately, and it was also mini breaks sometimes when we had, but it just total trust to each other, and I guess big respect, I would say. Without respect, you cannot. Yeah, I mean, that's my theory, that I always treated people with a tremendous respect. For me, it was no difference if the person is a corps de ballet or the stage crew or person who is cleaning the garbage or that's a principal dancer. I don't separate people on the positions. I love them as a human beings, and I respect them very much. So that's who I am. So, and it was hard for me when I didn't get the position when I joined the company. Some people were treating me by position, not by my personality or my talent. So that was a bit brutal for me, and I swallow a lot of tears, but I survived, and here I am.
And here you are. Well, it sounds like you really found the way to have a successful balance between work and the home.
It is not easy. I would not be able to, I guess, have the family. For example, our daughter, Emma, who is 15 and a half, if my parents, mom and dad, would not be fully, yes, committed to her. And my mom literally was, till Emma was 11 or till 6, till Emma was 6, my mom was sleeping with her most of the nights, because she knew if we need to perform, I need to have the full night rest. Otherwise, I cannot pretend to be 50% mother and 50% dancer. I can't. So I always try to dedicate myself as much as I can, 100% to the mother, and then 100% as a dancer. So my mom, pretty much my dad, they've been my right and left hands while we were performing and having a career, and we were building the nest, to make a living. And so it was really just because of them. So I'm very grateful.
Was Emma interested in dance?
She was a very amazing young dancer. When she was a baby, she was performing with Ballet Academy East, and she was with the Ballet Academy East. It was our second family. So they, since 2 or 3 years old, first Nutcracker she was a crying baby, so she was just acting. She didn't even walk, I think. Then the year by year she was dancing, and then last year, before she stopped dancing, she did Claire, so she was really happy, and so she did all the gradations and with Ballet Academy East. So the thing is that when she turned 12, and now everything started hurting, and the body started changing. So she said that I'm not probably as in love in this profession and so tough as you are to go through so much pain. And of course, as a young girl, she said, I want to be famous, I want to do this, but the hard work behind, which is usually hidden, and it's not easy to recognize and see. And then she said that it's really hard for her to be daughter of the 2 famous parents. We've been always very critical and very kind of tough. I never like sugarcoating, so try to be nice, but she got really pissed and upset. Said, Mom, can you just be normal, Mom? Can you just fake it and pretend that you the one who just did it? So it was hard, and because as a mom, you always want to say something and recommend something to make her improve and better. And just I cannot say it's fabulous if it could be better, I said. But so it was hard on her, and so she decided it's not her cup of tea. She's focused on something else, switching attention, for something else.
But so that's very interesting, because you and Max are Ukrainian by birth, but you have raised an American daughter. Is that a difficult thing? Is there a separation in the cultures that you grew up with?
It is, especially the new generation. When we grew up, we had no computers, we had no fax, no cell phones, nothing. So it was mostly verbal communication. And here, I think with the iPhones and everything, they they Google everything. They addicted to it, and it's just really hard. It's absolutely new generation, and we're struggling. I guess not only me as a parent, but I think a lot of parents struggling because it's really this generation is not easy to handle, and especially this teenage time. It's hard, I guess, for everyone. So it's just try to be as patient as I can.
But you were not a rebellious teenager, were you? You were already on the stage, so you were not rebellious.
I missed this stage, of teenage terrible years. I was just crying and give my mom. I did a little bit. I did the hard time because I hated my body, and I was blaming my mom because I have this body that it's not complimenting. Then people were bullying me in school, and so it was hard time for me too. So at this 14, 15, it was hard.
Yeah.
But not that crazy like they're doing it now.
Yeah. So I understand you have a ballet wear line called Irina and Max. Was there a need that you saw in the dance world, or something different that you never saw on the stores that you wanted to produce? What's unique about the things that you bring?
Well, the number one that all the dancers they need to keep the feet warm. So and apparently in the ballet stores you cannot buy anywhere the some booties which gonna keep you while you're walking through the rehearsals or marking something warm. And we came up with this idea to make it happen. So they're gonna sell it in the ballet stores, as well as some reversible jackets and pants as a warmers, which is really nice and easy to carry. And if you sweat, you could dry it quickly, because if you wear the woolen things, it's it takes forever to dry. If you for 1 month, for example, traveling in Japan or in China. So, and then my mom, because she was very handy, and I want to usually look different than everyone else. I didn't like to look the same as everyone else. So I was just going shopping for the beautiful material, and I did the drawing design. My dad actually teach me how to draw. So I did little sketches, and then mom cut and did one of the kind. And then people start asking, where did you get this? Where did you buy this? I said, well, my mom made it. So then my mom started to sell a couple, just handmade items. But then it happened that we met the president of the block. And then, because I was actually fighting to get the right shoe fit. And I didn't know at that time that I'm talking to the president. I thought that's another, shoemaker or the person who is the fitting it. And then apparently I was aware. I said, well, you saw my mom is sewing everything, so I know how to do it. We have a collection. And then he said, well, actually, I'm a president. After I criticized him completely, he said, well, I'm a president, and I'll be happy to have your capsule collections. I was like, oh my God, why didn't you tell me earlier? But you see, I never insult people. I always very honest. And he appreciated very, very much. So that's how we start collaboration more than 10 years ago. We did the capsule collections, and now it's selling globally online, and also it's good. So I'm really grateful for that.
That's wonderful. Congratulations with that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So lastly, I just want to talk about, I know that you and Max do summer intensive programs here in New York and in Panama City. Have you been teaching virtually as well?
Yes, we started the first couple of years in Panama City, and then we moved to New York. I think it took over 7 or 8 years in New York, and we usually we've been in Juilliard, we've been British Arts, and now lately we're already more than 5 years at City Center. And this year we did, of course, virtually, and then upcoming years it's probably going to be virtually for the safety of everybody else. So yes, it's really wonderful that we're sharing our talent and knowledge, and more people could join us. So I think, yes, we have our summer intensives. Yes, this is another August gig.
And how have you found teaching virtually? Has it been a big adjustment for you?
I'm just getting more exhausted because of the vocal and focus of the attention for each person and correction. So I'm getting really exhausted vocally. But otherwise, I think it's doable. We try to pay a lot of attention and give the corrections to everyone. So and we actually did have huge improvement even with the private students, even over the Zoom. So it's really great.
Right.
So I know that we have not that many minutes left, and I just want to also say that how amazed and grateful I was for Susan Stroman, who actually reached out and chose me as the lead character for the play we did called Beast in the Jungle, based on the original story, Henry James, Beast in the Jungle. And I think they did the archive video for library. So video, yes, of the show. So it was really amazing, fascinating process for me to be chosen by Susan Stroman to be as a dancer and a drama actress, which happened that I played in 1 hour and 50-minute play. I played 20 years old, 45 or 40 years old, 70 years old or older, and then back to 18 years old as a fiance. So it was really changing the wigs and drama and tears and passion and love, and so it was really amazing. So I felt that I was very blessed to be chosen by Susan Stroman and to have this opportunity to work with her. So there was my blessing while I was,
Wonderful. Do you have any projects coming up that you can share with us?
Well, not now. We're still kind of in this situation that I have time-to-time auditions on Zoom coming. I mean, it's not, or the preparing self-tape, because there is no live audition. I'm still seeking to be either in theater or on TV. Besides that, we're teaching a lot and now preparing also our summer intensive 2021 whole program. But that's the life.
Wonderful. Well, Irina, believe it or not, an hour has flown by. And we have run out of time. I just want to thank you so much for talking with me today and sharing your story. It's really been a pleasure, and thank you for sharing with our audience your story as well.
That's my
so I'll say thank you again and good night to you.
Thank you so much. It's been a great time talking to you. I hope you both.
Thank you. Good night, Irina. Good night.
Merry Christmas. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. So if you've enjoyed this interview, please consider donating at stepsbeyond.org. You can also go to our YouTube channel, the Steps Beyond Foundation, and subscribe. Please join me again in 2 weeks' time on January 3rd at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be interviewing Al Blackstone. Al Blackstone is an Emmy Award-winning director, choreographer, and educator, and the recipient of the 2011 Capizio Award for Choreographic Excellence. He has worked in theater, contemporary dance, and for television on So You Think You Can Dance, where he won his Emmy. A highly accomplished and versatile dance artist I'll be speaking with in our ongoing series. I hope to see you then. And with that, I will say good night to everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. Good night.